my bags. And that's when I saw it. Dust. Dear, is the whole house this dusty? I don't know. I'll give you a tour. In the dining room, Cindy told stories. In the study, Cindy told stories. Non-stop. Girls, time to get to work. This place needs a good cleaning. Once upon a time, when I was cleaning, oh boy, Cindy mopped the floor. But she finished so fast. How on earth did she do it? My darlings had barely started. Did you know robins and sparrows are my friends? But the sparrows don't like the robins. Silly creatures. Once upon a time, one of the robins, Cindy dear, why don't you go and wash the clothes now, But Cindy washed them so fast. I had to find another chore for her, just to keep her busy. If there's one thing squirrels love, it's washing clothes. The rats, though, would rather iron. You know, one day I squirrels and rats doing laundry. Quit telling such foolish stories. Time passed, but nothing changed. In the garden, Cindy told stories. In the kitchen, Cindy told stories. At dinner, I couldn't hear myself think. Dear, please stop talking. One day, a letter arrived. It was an invitation to the king's ball. The prince would surely fall in love with one of my darlings. Then they would marry, live in a beautiful castle, and one day be king and queen of all the land. Oh, stepmother, I have to go too. Once upon a time, a girl and a prince. And then, just like that, Cindy lost her voice. Imagine! It had to be from all that storytelling. Well, what could I do? I told Cindy she had to stay home for her health. But a ball was no place for a sick girl. She cried. Of course. She needed rest, though. Sometimes it's so hard being a stepmother. At the ball, my darlings twirled and they whirled. But then some strange girl waltzed in. Her gown was magnificent. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I wondered how much it cost, and if my seamstress could copy it for me. The prince and the girl danced in France. My poor darlings were left princeless. A few days later, the prince made an announcement. A glass slipper had been left at the castle. The prince would marry the girl whose foot it fit. Our big chance! After visiting every other mansion in the neighborhood, the prince's valet arrived at our door. Me, said one of my darlings. No, me, said the other. One at a time, said the valet. Each girl tried, but the shoe didn't fit. Then Cindy pushed out a whisper. Please let me try. The shoe fit! Cindy pulled the match right out of her pocket. What? My darlings cried. Cindy pushed out another whisper. She said something about a pumpkin coach and mice that turned into horses. She even added a fairy godmother. Please, there's no such thing. But I still don't know where she got those shoes from. A few days later, the prince married Cindy. Poor man. He had no idea what he was getting himself into. But he lived happily ever after.
Being the older brother isn't always what it's cracked out to be. You have all the responsibility to set a good example for the young kids to follow. And if you mess up, it doesn't always only affect you, but also the ones around you. This is Grief Struck by J.J. Jones. I used to sing this song to my little brother. He'd always say, James, sing it to me again. I feel better if you just sing to me. Do you feel better now, Billy? Do you feel better now? They say I have a decision to make, but really, the decision's already made. I just have to let go. and say the words. Just say the words, and they'll do the rest. Just let go. But I can't. Maybe if I sing it, then it'll be easier. Goodbye, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. Good. That's the last thing I remember, you know. Billy asking for me to sing to him. That, and to ride with me and Gracie over to Grandma and Grandpa's house that Christmas Eve. Come on, James, can I ride with you? Please? I won't be any bother. No, Billy. Grace and I still need to stop by your parents' house and drop off the presents. They don't need another kid running around their house screaming. And besides, we haven't been alone all day. Bug off and go find Mom and Dad and ride with them. But I don't want to ride with Mom and Dad. And me and Pop smell like old farts. And besides, you promised me you'd give me a ride in your new truck. I'll give you a ride later. Now bug off and go find Mom. Mom! His little face was fallen. 12 years of pride pushed aside as he offered me first crack the dirt bike he'd been hoping for that Christmas morning. I'll let you ride as long as you want. All day if you want to. Just let me ride with you. And besides, I want to hear that new song you've been working on too. You want to hear a new song? Here's one for you. Billy is a moron, but E-I-E-I-O. His brain is smaller than a nut. E-I-E-I-O. Shut up, James. I'm going to tell Mom. Go ahead, Peanut. I'll just tell her you were singing it. Some crap you picked up that low-life school of yours. Who do you think she's going to believe, huh? You or me? Billy walked away with his head down. As Gracie chided me for being an abusive older brother. But I didn't care. He was such a pest. He was always such a pest. Gracie and I began to back into my driveway. As I saw Billy's face in the window, some kind of pitiful last hope look on it. As I threw my arm out the truck and, well, I shot him in the finger. Mom was always after me for setting a good example to him. I'm sorry, Mom. I just didn't know. How does any of us know what's going to happen in the next heartbeat, the next moment? One minute you're joking around and singing about your little brother having nuts for brains and throwing him the finger in the next minute. I just didn't know. Grace and I made it to a family gathering. It was huge, and you know how it is when you get older. You have to divide up your time between everybody. So by the time we sampled every one of Grant's famous Christmas dishes and her mom's perfect fudge, we were running a little bit behind. I better call Mimi and Pops. That way they don't worry about us. The phone rang and rang. There was no answer. I cursed their old-fashioned ways for not investing in an answer machine. Then at least I could have left a message. Grace and I began to leave. We hugged and kissed our 1,000 relatives, even the ones who smelled a little bit too much cheap perfume. We got in my truck, and we began to back out of our driveway. We headed over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, but when we got there was no one home. Maybe they had car trouble. We should backtrack to my place and see if we can find them. It never occurred to me that something could be wrong. Not even when I saw the police lights still surrounding the wreckage. That couldn't be my dad's truck, twisted and gnarled on the exit ramp. It was just a double-sided cab that looked exactly like my dad's. Even when we pulled over, I still thought it was just some huge coincidence. I can still hear the ambulances screaming their way to the hospital as the wrecking crew tried to pry a cherry red sports car out of the windshield cavity of the overturned truck. It wasn't until Gracie's mom pulled over, crying, that I even realized that this could somehow affect me. James, we gotta get you to the hospital. Your mom, your dad, your grandparents, Billy. Billy? What about Billy? My parents are invincible and grandparents are so old that nothing can happen to them. But Billy? I was supposed to look out for Billy. Gracie's mom drove us to the hospital, where I found out that my mom, my dad, and my grandma and grandpa were already dead. Just like that, my entire family wiped out. And Billy, well, he's still alive. Sort of. Machines are keeping him alive. My little brother, the one who just wanted to hear me sing, the one who wanted to be just like me, the one I shot the finger to. Machines are keeping him alive. And the doctor says the only living relative, I would have to decide when to end my kid brother's life. You've got to be kidding. I have to decide when to end his life? I'm not even 18. I shouldn't have to make these kinds of decisions. Oh, God. I was down at the funeral home this morning picking out coffins for crying out loud. I've never even been to a funeral before, and now I'm planning 4, 5, counting Billy's. Why is this happening to me? The minister was down here early, and all he had to say was it was God's will. Well, was it? Was it your will that someone got tanked up on the freeway and flew off perfectly timed to wipe out my entire family? Well, was it? Billy, I know I gotta let you go now, but I don't wanna. If I would let you ride with me, then we'd be going through this together. we'd be here together. If I sing to you, will that make it easier? Goodbye, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. It's time to say goodbye.
A colonial mansion, an hereditary estate. I would say a haunted house. Still, there is something queer about it. John laughs at me. John is a physician, and perhaps that is the one reason I do not get well faster. You see, he does not believe I am sick. So what can I do? When a physician of high standing and one's own husband assures friends and relatives that there is really nothing the matter with me but a temporary nervous depression, a slight hysterical tendency, what can I do? How can I make him see that this wallpaper is driving me mad? The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I don't like our room a bit. We took the nursery at the top of the house. The windows are barred for little children. The paint and paper look as if a boys' school used them. They're stripped off in great patches. I never saw a worse paper in my life. A sprawling, flamboyant pattern committing every artistic sin. The colors repellent, almost revolting. A smoldering, unclean yellow. It is a dull yet lurid orange in some places. A sickly sulfur tint in others. I wish I could get well faster, but I must not think about that. This paper looks to me as if it knew what a vicious influence it had. And there is a recurrent spot where the pattern lolls like a broken neck, and two bulbous eyes stare at you upside down. I get positively angry with the impertinence of it, and the everlastingness. Up and down and sideways they crawl, and those absurd, unblinking eyes are everywhere. This wallpaper, as I said, is torn off in spots. It has a kind of sub-pattern in a different shade, a particularly irritating one, for you can only see it in certain lights, and not clearly then. But in the places where it isn't faded, where the sun is just so, I can see a strange, provoking, formless sort of figure that seems to sulk about behind that silly and conspicuous front design. I cry at nothing, and cry most of the time. Of course, I don't when John is here, but when I am alone. And I am alone a good deal just now. Dear John, he loves me very dearly, hates to have me sick, but it is getting to be a great effort for me to think straight. Just this nervous weakness, I suppose. John says I am his darling and his comfort, and all he has, and I must take care of myself. For his sake. And keep well. There are things in this paper that nobody knows but me, or ever will. Behind that outside pattern, the dim shapes get clearer every day. It is always the same shape, only very numerous, and it is like a woman stooping down and creeping about behind that pattern. I don't like it a bit. I wish John would take me away from here. It is so hard to talk to John about my case, because he is so wise and because he loves me so. But I tried it last night. It was moonlight. I kept still and watched the moonlight on that undulating wallpaper till I felt creepy. The faint figure behind seemed to shake the pattern, just as if she wanted to get out. I got up softly and went to feel and see if the pattern did move. And when I came back, John was awake. "What is it, little girl?" he said. "Don't go walking about like that. You'll get cold." I thought it was a good time to talk, so I told him I really was not gaining here, and that I wished he would take me away. "Why, darling," said he, "our lease will be up in 3 weeks. Of course, if you were in any danger, I could and would, but you really are better, dear, whether you can see it or not. I am a doctor, dear, and I know. You are gaining flesh and color. Your appetite is better. I really feel much easier about you. I don't worry a bit more